Hey, Shalom, Most High in Christ, bless Israel. Of the house of Bishop Kanai Gabar, I am here to do a presentation, a quick demonstration of preparing lamb for Passover, and as well as unleavened bread. So let me just show you guys a little quick something, and then we're going to continue this tomorrow because it's late and I'm tired. Okay, so I put in here about 3 teaspoons of kosher salt and some water and lots of ice. As you guys can see, here's my lamb. I've trimmed it, gotten some of the fat off, but I will do a quick demonstration of how to trim that fat. You don't want too much fat because lamb is very oily, and when that lamb gets on that heat, all this fat starts to melt off. So I just lightly trim it like this. Get all that excess fat. And then, so this has been soaking for at least maybe about 2 hours in some kosher salt, lots of ice and water. It has a really good chill on it. Now this happens to be the lamb ribs, the upper part of the breast. And you can, if you can find this in your local grocery stores, actually this is great. It's less expensive than the rack of lamb, but any part of the lamb you can use. So I'm just going to trim a little more here. But all I've done is slit it. Now, some people may not want to soak their lamb. You might want to just take a little bit of this and just gently sprinkle, rub it into your lamb. And then, of course, you're going to rinse this off before you cook it if you're going to let it sit. You could do this after you wash off your lamb, just in water, cold water, for a while. What you can do is you could just rub that salt on it and get ready to put it on the grill or in your oven. But right now I had mine soaking for a little bit. I did rub a little more salt on. If this is too much salt for you all, then you don't have to use it. But it's gonna be rinsed off before it gets back on the grill, okay? So I'm just gonna actually start wrapping it, and I'm gonna actually put it in my refrigerator because it has such a chill on it, my hands are freezing. And I'm just slitting down the ribs here. Just get a good, that's a good piece. But I'm going to check it one more time to see if there's any extra fat that I might need here. I may want to take off. Okay, so let's get this here looking good. You want a nice, tasty lamb. Lamb, you know, you don't season it with other seasonings. Just lightly, you know, some salt. That's it. But after I rinse this off, it's not going to be as salty as it may appear. So I'm just going to wrap it up. Get my soap out. Wash my hands. Once I get this wrapped up, I'm going to let it chill overnight. And then tomorrow morning, we will get this on the grill, and I'll show you guys how to cook it. prefer to use saran wrap and not foil, because foil can dry out your meat. This kind of keeps it vacuum sealed, somewhat vacuum sealed, but it locks in any, or I should say it prevents any air from kind of getting in. Okay. All right. Okay, Israel. So I will see you tomorrow morning, and we'll get this lamb and this unleavened bread, and we'll talk a little bit about some bitter herbs. Shalom. Most High Christ bless.
Hey, shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless you. This is Bishop Kanai of IUIC, or Israel United Christ. Today, a quick tutorial on how to prepare for Passover. Passover is soon coming upon us. We're about a little over 5 weeks out, and many of you might be the first time you're celebrating Passover. So we're going to give you a couple steps you have to do to make sure that you're keeping the day as the scripture tells us to. So we're going to go to the book of Exodus, the 12th chapter, and verse, where do you start at? Let's start at verse 8. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw or sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head and his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. So the Lord tells us on the Passover that we're supposed to eat it, bitter herbs, lamb, unleavened bread, and the New Testament explains to us about the wine, which we'll get to in a second. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is show you quickly. We're going to spin around, show what we're doing here to give you an idea. We have the grill going, and we're going to, in a second, bring the lamb out, show you how we cook it, and how we prepare for the rest of Passover. So stay tuned. Give a second. We'll be right back with you. Shalom. Hey, shalom, Israel. So we're back. So what we have here, we have 2 slabs of ribs. You can use anything. You can use the lamb leg, lamb loins, rack of lamb. I happen to like the lamb breast in this case. For many of us, we're not going to have the whole lamb to roast. So you're going to get pieces of it, all right? So we got the grill. The grill is hot. Take a look. What you want to do is be careful. Lamb is very fatty, so it will burn very easy. No seasonings on it. You just roast it with fire. So I'm just going to put the lamb on it. Let it roast just like that. Lamb is a very fatty meat, but it holds the flavor, it holds the moisture. So with this, no seasonings on it. We just let it roast with fire as the scripture says. And then after that, take it off, and we'll deal with the bitter herbs and the unleavened bread. All right? So stay tuned, and we'll be back. All right, so this is the lamb roasted. Nothing on it, just roasted. And now we're going to prepare the rest of the meal. We're going to go inside, get the unleavened bread going, and the bitter herbs, the wine, and show you exactly how to prepare for Passover. So stay tuned. Most High in Christ bless. Ready?
Shalom, Israel, and welcome. Today we're going to be baking an unleavened butterscotch muffins. Okay? This is delicious, it's quick, and it's very, very simple. We're going to be using 4 eggs, 2 cups of brown sugar, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, or you can use whole wheat flour. I'm using a whole bag of butterscotch. I'm going to be using my spray for my pans, and we're going to be using about 4 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract and 2 sticks of softened butter, okay, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Once we combine all of our ingredients, when you double this batch here, it makes 24 muffins. And this will bake approximately about 15 to 20 minutes. I have preheated my oven at 325, and I will bake on the middle rack. Now, I chose butterscotch. I did choose butterscotch muffins, but you can put anything in it. You can put raisins, you can put white chocolate chips, whatever you want to do, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the rest of my morsels. I split them up, so I did one batch earlier, so that was half a bag. Now I'm doing the remaining. One, two, four. Oh. There we go. And we're just going to blend this all together here. Doesn't take very long at all. You should get a good consistency. Okay, that should work. Just to double check. Just want to make sure everything is mixed properly. Actually, you actually could put it in here just a few more seconds. As you all may know, you hear children crying, or screaming, that is. Well, I happen to have a full house, if you already don't know. So I apologize for the disruption, Israel. Alrighty. Now, oops. Once we get all that off of there, that's just how I do it. Okay. And then you're going to actually spoon them, which is what I did here. I spooned all of my mixture about halfway, okay? And I put it in the oven for 325 on the middle rack. Baked about 15 to 20 minutes. And here's what they look like when they were done. After they sat out for just about 2 minutes, I went ahead and I checked them to make sure that they were done. Went ahead and just kind of stuck them through. They came off pretty clean, so they're ready. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick tutorial of baking a simple recipe of butterscotch unleavened bread muffins. So I'm going to try one of these. These are good. These are excellent.
It tastes like a really thick oatmeal cookie. That's the texture. It's chewy, it's soft, it's very moist. Those 2 sticks of butters, they did it. This is excellent. Shalom, y'all.